This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. Good evening, friends. In this Azure Databricks Master Program, this is our 37th session. In this session, basically, we are going to see reading and writing data from Data Lake Storage Gen1, Data Lake Storage Gen2, and Blob Storage directly. Okay. So as of today, we have seen how you can read data from Blob Storage, Data Lake Storage Gen1, Data Lake Storage Gen2 by mounting. Then we also have seen how you can read data from SQL database, how you can read data from the Azure Synapse by using Polybase. So all these things we have completed as of today, right? So next session is we are going to see how you can read data from the AWS S3, all those things we have. But before I jump into the AWS integration with AWS services, what I wanted to cover is not only mounting these particular file systems, you can directly connect. You can directly connect to these storages for reading the data and writing the data. So in interview, people are going to ask you, is there any other way apart from mounting the storages? Can I able to read the data or not? Yes, it is possible. You can use the access keys for Data Lake Storage Gen2 and Blob Storage. If it is a Data Lake Storage Gen1, you need to create the app registration that we know already, right? So by using these things, what we are going to do is we are going to connect directly for reading data and writing the data. So as of today, we mounted, we have used Polybase for connecting to the Azure Synapse, and we connected to the Azure SQL database, right? So all these things we covered. Today, we are going to read and write data directly into different storages, that is Data Lake Storage Gen1, Gen2, and Blob Storage. Let's get started. So in today's session, we are going to see Data Lake Storage Gen1. I have given a little bit introduction already. Let's see again. Data Lake Storage Gen2, Blob Storage. These three are the focus areas today. Next. So whatever keys we have for Data Lake Storage Gen1, Gen2, Blob Storage, where we have kept all these keys, we kept it in a keyword. We kept it in a keyword. Next. So today we are going to create an app registration because for Data Lake Storage Gen2 and Blob Storage, you will have an access key. But if it is a Data Lake Storage Gen1, you will not have access key. You need to go with the app registration. Okay, next. So you know what is app registration we discussed, but we will discuss once again. Next, Azure Databricks. What is Azure Databricks? We already know. Secret scope. This is basically you are going to create a scope to read the secrets, to read the passwords, to read the keys from the key vault. Okay, from Databricks, you need to read the keys or passwords or app registration, secret name. Sorry, it's not a secret name. Service principal ID and service principal secret. If you want to read all these things from the keyword, you need to create a scope from the Databricks. We have done that. We are going to do once again. Next, once we have, if we have created entire setup, then we are going to see reading data from Blob Storage directly and reading data from Data Lake Storage Gen1 directly, then reading data from Data Lake Storage Gen2 directly. Next, writing data frame to the Blob Storage, writing data frame to the ADLS Gen1, writing data frame to the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen2 directly. We are going to see. Then we are going to see prerequisites and the required resources. These are the things we are going to see today. Let's see overview diagram. First, you see data source. Today, first data source is my Blob Storage. What I am going to do, my entire data I'm going to keep it in a Blob Storage. If I want to read the data which I have in Blob Storage from Databricks, what I am going to do is, first thing, Blob Storage keys we should not hard code in the notebook. That is not a good programming practice. You should not hard code your username and password or keys in anywhere, not only in Databricks, in any programming. You should not hard code these things. You should be able to read this username and password from the property file, or you need to keep it in some secure place. From that secure place, you should be able to read these keys. Now we know as of yesterday we have mounted the storage, but today I'm going to use the access key. When you are using access key to read data from Blob Storage directly, you just create a Blob Storage. Once you create Blob Storage, you can able to see the key. Take that key and keep it in a keyword. I am going to store this particular. I am going to store this Blob Storage key in a keyword. Now, if I want to access, if anybody want to access Azure Blob Storage, they should have this particular access key. So now people like maybe Azure Data Factory or Azure Databricks, where these services should go and get this key. These services should connect to the keyword like Databricks. Suppose now I am trying to read data from Blob Storage from Databricks. First, Databricks should connect to the keyword, retrieve the secret, that is nothing but a key. Once it get the key, with that key you can connect to the Blob Storage. You understood? Now you see again. So from from Databricks, I'm connecting to the keyword. Once I connected, I can able to read the secret. Once I read that secret, I can able to connect to the Blob Storage. Once I connected to the Blob Storage, I can able to read and write the data. I can read data from Blob Storage to the Databricks, from Databricks Dataframe, I can write back to the Blob Storage. Anything you can able to do. Okay, same flow will go for data lake storage Gen1, Gen2. Only here it will replace. Now we'll see for data lake storage Gen1. Now you see my data source is data lake storage. In data lake storage, I am going to keep my data. Whatever like app registration, we know, right? App registration. So we need to create a app registration. Once you create a app registration, it's nothing but a you are registering with the Azure Active Directory. You are like you are enrolling with the Azure Active Directory, saying that there is an application which is existing. So once you registered with your Azure Active Directory, this app is has some identity. This app will have some identity. Now this app can access all the resources which you have in Azure, but it can access directly? No. You should grant the permission. Now what happens? First I will create the app registration. Then I will add this app registration in Azure Data Lake Storage. Once I add this app registration in data lake storage, I can able to access the data lake storage by using this app registration service principal ID and service principal secret. Okay, those like service principal ID, service principal secret, I also need something called directory ID. We have seen already, right? Those three information I will keep it in keyword here again. Okay, now what happens? Again, now I want to read data from data lake storage, right? So from Databricks, I want to read data lake storage, I want to read it from the Databricks. Now Databricks should connect to the keyword again. It should read those three things: service principal ID, service principal secret, and the directory ID. These three I will read it. I will get it into my Databricks. With the help of these three, I will connect to the data lake storage. Once I connected, I can able to read and write the data into the Databricks. Okay, this is the flow of data lake storage. Now let's go to the data lake storage Gen2. So this is the data source. Here I have data lake storage Gen2. Okay, now my data will be there in a data lake storage Gen2. This is my Azure keyword. What I will do for data lake storage Gen2 also, you will get the key. This key I will store it in keyword, right? So now I will have a Databricks. From Databricks, I should be able to read the data lake storage Gen2 data and whatever. After transforming that data frame, I want to write it back to the data lake storage Gen2. For that, if you want to connect to the data lake storage Gen2, first you go to keyword, get the keys, then you connect to the data lake storage Gen2, and you can able to read and write. You know, right? How you can able to get the secrets from Azure keyword? You need to create the secret in your Databricks. You need to create the secret scope. You need to create secret scope. We need to create. Okay, we have created multiple times, so you are aware of that. Okay, fine. App registration. You know, registering the application means that your developers can use Azure Active Directory. AD means Azure Active Directory to authenticate users and request access to user resources. So example, you have registered some X application. This X application can able to access the any resource in Azure. That is only when you granted the permissions. Okay, first thing. Next, any member of your directory, okay, any member of your directory can register an application. Whoever is having a admin access, they can able to create the app registration. Next, registering an application allows any user to do the following things. First, you will get an identity for their applications that Azure AD recognizes. Azure AD will recognize this. Example, see, sometimes when you go to office, right? So security people, they won't see your ID card. They will recognize you from the face itself. They will allow you, right? In the same way, if you want to use any application in Azure, all these applications should be recognized, should be identifiable by your Azure Active Directory, because Azure Active Directory is a central repository where you are going to maintain users, group, all the permissions, all the security things. You are going to control it from the Azure Active Directory. Now, get one or more secret keys that application can use to authenticate itself to the AD. So now what you need to do, now from Databricks, I want to connect to the Data Lake Storage Gen1. For that, what you need to do is app registration, secret ID, secret name, directory ID, you need to provide, so that you will get some authentic, like you will identify, okay, this is the person is trying to access Data Lake Storage, whether he has access or not. Yes, he has access, right? So we have done all those things. App registration, when you create a app registration, you will have a app name. Okay, this is Gen2 user I kept, but you can keep anything, any name you can give. Here you see application ID, this is going to be your kind of a username. Okay, directory ID, this is from your account, and here you are going to create a something called secret. This is also called, you can call it as a password, kind of a password. Application ID to identify your application uniquely, directory ID to identify your account, secret is authenticating, okay, just to check whether you have a permission or not. Okay, that's why we need these three things. Now go to Blob Storage as a so yeah, just you can consider Blob Storage. Okay, in this Blob Storage, give one second, just give me a minute. Yeah, you see here Blob Storage, right? Set your account credentials in your notebook session config, meaning you will have a Spark session. To that Spark session, I'm going to configure my key. Okay, I am going to configure my key. See now, spark.config.set fs.azure.account.key. So Azure account key I am going to set. For which storage you are trying to keep this particular key, storage account name. So this is basically for Blob Storage, so you need to put here Blob Storage name. It's a blob.core.windows.net. This is the extension. Then you need to put the key here. So instead of putting the key directly here, what we are going to do, we are going to read it from the Azure Key Vault. How to read a particular secret from the Azure Key Vault? So we know dbutils.secrets.get scope name. Scope is nothing but a connection from Databricks to the Key Vault. That connection name, scope name. Then you need to identify, you will have a multiple secrets in it. To identify one secret, you need to use a secret name. Okay, that secret name you need to give here. Okay, fine. Now URL syntax. Once you set this particular key in the Spark session, you need to form the URL to read the data from the last storage. How you will form the URL is, it's not a /mnt, all those things. /mnt means it's a mount point, but it's not a mount, it's a direct access, right? So you need to form the URL. If it is a blob storage, /container name @storage account name .blob.core.windows.net you need to use. Okay, remember one more thing. If it is a Data Lake Storage Gen2, only the difference you see here is instead of here blob, you will have a DFS. Instead of blob here, what you will have? Can you tell me now? What we will have here instead of blob? Just now I told DFS. Okay, now instead of WASBS, we will have a ABFSS, Azure Blob File System. Okay, Azure ABFSS. Okay, you need to put, instead of WASBS, you need to put ABFSS. These are the only two changes. Wherever you have blob, in these two places you will have blob. You just put, instead of blob, DFS. Here instead of WASBS, you need to put ABFSS. That I will show you. We have a slide for that as well. Data Lake Storage Gen1. You see, for Data Lake Storage Gen1, it's a app registration. We don't have any key directly. So that's why application ID we need to put here. Then here secret. That is nothing but a password, kind of a password I said, right? So that particular secret we need to keep here next to directory. These three things I will get it from the Azure Key Vault. Okay, code will change. Okay, it's not exactly same as our whatever I mentioned in the slide. It will change. I will change in the session. I will show you how you can change. Next, if you want to read data from the Data Lake Storage Gen1, see ADL : storage name, dot Azure Data Lake Storage dot net directory name. It's nothing but a folder name. This is the storage name. This is for the Data Lake Storage Gen1. Okay, next let's go to the Data Lake Storage Gen2. As I said, the difference between Blob Storage and Data Lake Storage Gen2. You see here also I'm just setting the key to our Spark session. Now you see here we have a just DFS. Remaining things are same. URL syntax also file system storage account name. See, instead of blob we have a DFS. Next here instead of wasbs we have here abfss. Okay, this is the syntax for reading the data, writing the data. Next, Key Vault service. So you know we discussed, that's why I'm not discussing much. See here, Azure Key Vault is a cloud service that provides a secure store for secrets. So what is secret? It can be a keys, it can be password, it can be certificate, and any other sensitive information. If you want to keep this sensitive information very securely, you can keep those sensitive information in the Key Vault. So once you keep these passwords in the Key Vault, it will be encrypted. Okay, next, you create a Key Vault. We need to create a Key Vault. Inside Key Vault, we are going to create a secrets. Once you create secrets, what it will have? So you will just give something name. Name is, let's say, blob key. Under that value. Value means actual key you will put. Now, if I want to access actual value, what I need to give? Secret name. That we have seen, right? See here, we are going to create the secrets. Now, in properties, you see DNS name and the resource ID. This DNS name and the resource ID I need if I want to create the secret scope from the Azure Databricks that you all are aware. Okay, now, secret scope. So I will create secret scope. Once you create a secret scope, you can able to access all the secrets which are in the Key Vault. If you want to create a secret scope, the URL is Databricks instance #secrets/create scope. So this particular URL you need to form and you need to browse it. When you browse it, you can see below form. In this form, you see you need to give the scope name. It's a creator or all users. Creator means only creator can able to access all the keys. All users means whoever is access to your Azure Databricks, they can able to access these secrets. So DNS name and resource ID of the Azure Key Vault, as we discussed, you can see here Databricks KV Key Vault. Okay, vaults.azure.net. Okay, these two DNS name and resource ID of Azure Key Vault. Next, read files into Dataframe. How you will read files into Dataframe? Spark.read.format. It can be, you have CSV file, CSV. If it is, you have Parquet, if you have JSON, if it is XML, Excel, or some zip file, whatever. So based on text file. Okay, what else we have discussed? We have discussed different file formats. So you just have to give the format .load file path. Okay, df.show. Next, df spark.read.format. Here you just have to put the format .schema of s .load file path. Here, if it is a CSV file, just use CSV file. Schema of s. What it means? You are providing user-defined schema. Instead of you are going with the default schema, you are defining user-defined schema. If you give the user-defined schema, what is the advantage? Can you tell me now? Quickly tell me, friends. What is the advantage you will get if you provide the user-defined schema?
Performance is more, sir. Sir, is it correct, sir? Performance is more. We can access very fast.
Venkatesh told, but other people who ever attended my Databricks session, they are not able to tell very good. Okay, thank you. So now you see write data frame as a file. So how you will write this data frame data as a file? Okay. So df.write.mode is overwrite or appended based on your requirement. So format, if you want to write it as a CSV, you can mention it as CSV. If you want to mention it as a Parquet, you can mention it as a Parquet. Save into which path you want to save. df.write.mode, it's a append. If you want to give it as a append mode means append. Format is if whatever format you want to write, you can write it. Save means you are saving this particular path which you have given. Okay. Prerequisite, we should have a basic knowledge on Azure Databricks. We have that. Next, Blob Storage, we are going to create ADLS Storage Gen1, ADLS Storage Gen2, Key Vault, and Azure Databricks. Okay, these are the services I'm going to create for today lab. Okay, these are the slides I have